大家好, I'm Nathan Rich, aka 火锅大王. Today I want to talk to you about a very interesting article that I read by CNN called Chinese Diplomat Claims US Military Brought the Coronavirus to Wuhan. So this is a very strong title. A diplomat of China has claimed that the US military brought the coronavirus to Wuhan. So let's take a look at the actual article. Okay, it says a prominent Chinese official claims the United States military could have brought the novel coronavirus to China and it did not originate in the city of Wuhan as thought. So they are claiming this. So let's take a look at what he actually said. Here we have the director of the US CDC. He said that some people who died from the influenza in the United States were later autopsied and it was discovered that they actually had COVID-19. However, he doesn't mention when this happened, when they died, how many people it was, where they were, nothing. He just sort of says it and moves on.
And if somebody dies from influenza, are we doing post-mortem testing to see whether it was influenza or whether it was COVID-19?
There is a surveillance system of death from pneumonia that the CDC has. It's not in every city, every state, every hospital.
So we could have people in the United States dying for what appears to be influenza when in fact it could be the coronavirus or COVID-19.
Some cases have been actually diagnosed that way in the United States today.
Obviously, this raises a lot of questions. So let's take a look at the tweet claiming that the US brought the virus to Wuhan. It says, CDC was caught on the spot. When did patient zero begin in US? How many people are infected? What are the names of the hospitals? It might be US Army who brought the epidemic to Wuhan. Be transparent. Make public your data. US owe us an explanation. I don't see anything wrong with this. This tweet seems totally correct. Why is the US being so opaque with their data? More opaque than any other country in the world. They're not releasing test numbers. They're not telling us when were the first cases. They're not telling us how many of these people were there that were misdiagnosed as influenza, or when that was, or where they were, or what hospitals they were in. Nothing. The US is just totally tight-lipped. They're just holding it and you just can't get it from them. Too bad. It's a very authoritarian style hoarding of the information and not releasing it to the public while the public is experiencing this. And by the way, this is not a case of trying to hold back the numbers for safety reasons, right? There's not an investigation going on to find out what the source of this is. We know the source, and the United States has had months to prepare, but instead of preparing, they've done apparently nothing, and now they're suffering, and they're making the public suffer, and they're intentionally gaslighting everybody by not telling them any numbers. So this is not a claim, however, that the US did anything. It says it might be the US Army who brought the epidemic to Wuhan. Now, what is he talking about? Why the US Army? Because there was a military gaming event right around the time that the outbreak started in Wuhan. And that had a lot of people, including people from the United States. So that's one theory. And I've done a lot of research into this, and my next video will cover it extensively. So watch out for that one. But in the meantime, what are you talking about? The CDC was caught on the spot. We don't know when patient zero was in the US. We don't know how many people are infected. We don't know the names of the hospitals that these people were misdiagnosed in. It might be the US Army who brought the epidemic to Wuhan. We don't know, right? It seems like probably it wasn't. But we don't know if it's true or not, and this information will help us understand if it was true. Be transparent. Yeah, they're not being transparent. Make public your data. The data is not public. There's nothing wrong with this tweet. The US owes us an explanation. Yes, they do owe an explanation to the entire world, as does any country that has misdiagnosed this. So then it shows a picture of the foreign ministry spokesperson, Zhao Lijian, and it's actually a pretty good picture. Then it just sort of goes on to talk about how people don't really know what's going on and sort of accuses China of spreading misinformation, although a little bit softly. And the thing that's the most interesting to me about this article is that it's taking a tweet and it's making it seem like, oh, China's crazy. What are they coming up with this information from? You know, where are they getting these crazy theories? Instead of focusing on, yeah, why doesn't America release this information? Like, who cares what a diplomat says? The point is, where's the data? Release the data, CDC. Why are you hiding this? Why are you so opaque? I thought transparency was the thing you're criticizing China and other countries for. Where's your transparency? We get zero transparency from the United States, and it's really pissing me off. It's my country. You're supposed to be setting an example, and the example that you're setting is hypocrisy. Accuse everyone of something, then do it yourself, and then just don't listen to anybody when they ask for the information. It's crazy to me. And the way that this is framed is, China again, here we go, China with these crazy conspiracy theories. And there was so much backlash, by the way, over this article that they actually retitled it and rewrote parts of it. So this is the original, which is Chinese diplomat claims. And this is what they've changed it to now. Chinese diplomat promotes conspiracy theory. Nope, he's not promoting a conspiracy theory. He's asking very valid questions that are extremely important, that are being blocked by the United States government. They're not answering these questions. The point is, what he's saying is true, and anyone could be saying this. Everyone should be saying, hey, CDC, where's the testing numbers? Hey, CDC, how come it's now the middle of March and we've known about this virus since December and you still don't have testing kits? And the reason, by the way, that they keep calling it a conspiracy theory and keep trying to show that he's promoting it is so that they can, for example, add on Wikipedia or add into future articles stuff like Zhao Lijian is a known conspiracy theorist or promoter of conspiracy theories, so that people in the future, when they see information about him, they go, oh, conspiracy guy, everything he's saying is crazy. This is part of the information war that they partake in. And it's not even really a question of if they're doing it intentionally or not, or is this just a byproduct of ad revenues and clickbait and whatever. That's not really the point. It doesn't matter why they did it. The point is, why would this happen? Why do the American people not demand some kind of information, anything? I mean, if even just to rule out this conspiracy theory. So it's just another thing to think about when you hear somebody, not just in China, but anybody is a conspiracy theorist. Now it's just an additional layer. You have to click down and click down. It's like, what is this strange conspiracy he's promoting? Oh, he's just literally asking, hey, WTF, what about these cases? When was that? You know, it could have been you that started the virus. To me, that's not promoting. That's just asking an obvious question. But again, I will get into this conspiracy theory in the next video. So be sure to check that one out. There's a lot of mudslinging right now and crazy information, and everyone's just going crazy over this pandemic. So there's some level of this that seems inevitable, but we still have to try our best to attack misinformation and fake news like CNN, because they didn't always used to be fake news. And they're not totally fake news. And so they're only going to respond to pressure. So we need to keep putting pressure on these organizations until they're put into a position where they have to start being more honest with how they report. And unfortunately, due to the way that the internet and capitalism have sort of merged in this weird interim time, the more salacious an article is, the more money that they'll make. Because they're profit driven, that's just what they have to do. So it's not necessarily even that these are bad people. It's just that the structure that's been built in the West when it comes to news reports encourages separating people and being divisive and making things sound explosive and demonizing people, because all those things are clickbait. When I saw that, I clicked it. Whereas if I saw the headline that said, foreign minister asks a question about that, doesn't sound amazing. This is what people don't really understand. We don't want to see foreign minister claims. We don't want to see foreign minister promotes. We don't want to see foreign minister asks. What we want to see is, why is the CDC not reporting this? Or CDC lies about this. Stop trying to demonize people for asking the right questions. Ask them yourself. That's what responsible journalism is. And you know what? How about instead of just asking the questions, do some investigation and find out some answers for us? That's news. This is just a hit piece on someone for asking the most obvious questions in the world. So keep that in your mind as you read news. I'm going to continue to give you information like this on how I see these articles and what I think should be done. So thanks everybody. 谢谢。